So welcome back. I want to put a disclaimer in there, or disclaimer in here. As you've seen in the very beginning, I'm not a TIG welder. I just picked up a TIG welding machine over Christmas. I found a guy on Marketplace that was selling his TIG setup. It was complete with bottle and everything, so it was at a reasonable price. So I picked it up because it's something I want to do. The exhaust shops around here, they stop at 3-inch, and there's nobody around that does the 4-inch or 5-inch. And trying to find a TIG welder around, it's also hard to do. So I can tack with it a little bit, but that's about it. And I'm taking a class to do it, and as I understand it, I need the basics, and then after that it's just a bunch of time spent on trying to learn how to do it. So it's something I want to do. I can MIG weld, no big deal, and so TIG is my next adventure on learning how to do that. So another skill set to learn. With the disclaimer out of the way, I want to show you what we're doing today. So on the last video I left, I didn't have this bracket mounted up. So the bracket is mounted up. This is the best location I can think of. I mentioned in the last video it needed be about 2 inches taller than the original one. I don't think I have the original bracket here. No, I don't see it. So anyway, and then trying to mount the turbo under the hood where the hot side of the exhaust doesn't rub on any of the wires. So this is the best place I can think of that it goes. So I've got it attached with 4 Allen bolts, or gradient Allen bolts, and then as you can see the bracket is extra long, and then mounting the lower turbo on it, it's going to hit there. So I've drawn a line where I want to cut it off, and that's the next step. And then I will go to mounting the upper, and then I've started tack welding the hot pipe together. So let me cut this bracket off here, or cut the metal off there, and I'll mount the other turbo, and then I'll come back and show you. Be right back. I've got the bracket cut down, and then I've got the HE351 turbo mounted up on it. You can see where it attaches to the exhaust manifold there, and there's a little bit of clearance, there. So I don't know where I'm going to cut it. Originally I thought I would end up cutting it along here, or then maybe putting some kind of mark there or cut there to make it look better. And then I discovered when you hang the elbow in here that I'll have to make the clearance on the bracket here to clear the elbow. So the next step I want to do is mount the upper turbo, and I will show you on that. And also the kit I got, it came with the 4-inch sleeves. And on this one here, you can see the exhaust manifold. Where's my other manifold? Let me throw the other manifold up here. It has the extra thick sleeve on it for the other piece to slide into it, and that was one of the places that I was running into a clearance issue. You can see there. So using the I cut down 4 3/8 sleeves. It's DOM, drawn over mandrel material, and then I cut them to 4 3/8, and it gives it a little bit of clearance there. So I might cut those down a little bit more. I won't know until I get a little bit closer to it, and then maybe notch it a little bit here. I know the bracket is extremely ugly, so I'm trying to give it some kind of cosmetic appeal to it. And then I had to smooth out the side there on the elbow when the upper turbo sits on it. The clamp where it connects to the cold side is going to hit the bracket. So I'll show you that here in a second. But let me mount the other turbo up on there, and then I will come right back. Alright, here is what everybody has been looking for. So both turbos are on there now. You can see where that one, it's really close to hitting that. The clamp still does not fit at this point. So I'll have to do a little bit more work to make it fit, which is not a big deal. I can cut a little bit off, grind a little bit off, and then I'll take care of that. Let's see what else. Oh, let me put the hot side on. This is just tacked together. There's that. Might stay, or it might not. This is just a temporary mock-up. Long-winded sucker. So there's that. Maybe it'll stay. So that's going to go somewhere around there. And then I'll take the other elbow I have. And like I said, once I notch this piece here, then that will go up to there. Once this metal is out of the way, and then I'll have to come down a little bit so I can take this longer piece, cut it shorter, and it'll go up, and then it probably needs, I don't know, maybe 3-4 inch piece of straight tubing in there, and then that should take care of that part. And then the next one is I have to make the one that goes from here. Well, that's obviously too long, so maybe take this one. Trying to do this one-handed. So I have the flange, I don't have it out here. So it'll go from here, straight down, go from here straight down, and then I'll have to get some more elbows. And then I've got a boot that goes onto there. And obviously it'll have to come out further, something along that line, cut it down shorter, and it'll line up something like that. So a little bit of work to do on that. That will be the cold side going into the upper turbo, and then the next ones will have to be the exhaust pipe, and I'll have to do this one on the truck. To clear the firewall and everything. And then the front side will be from the air filter housing on the truck, snakes around, and then it'll go into there. I'll probably end up going with a 45 boot on that instead of a straight, and then that will help that line up. So the next step is going to be probably cutting this bracket here to make room for the elbow. And so let me try to figure that part of it out, and then I'll come right back. I've got the bracket marked. What I did was I took the elbow here and put it on there, and then drew a line around on the inside of the bracket. I don't know if you can see that. Where's my light at? I drew a line around the tube where it's going to sit. I think you can see that. You should be able to see that. Should be able to see that there. So even though using this elbow is too tall, or it's too high, for this one here will actually come in there if I put a straight edge on it. If I put a straight edge on it, I drew a line below the angle there so you can see it. So marking that, or looking at that there, you can see where this one here is much taller. So that'll give it the clearance it needs. I might even come down a little bit, but the next thing I just thought of, I don't know where it's at. the next thing I just thought of is if you take the bottom edge of the exhaust pipe, and it's going to go somewhere there. If you see straight across, look what I run into. I run into, well, this is not working. I run into the port for the exhaust temperature gauge, so I have to look to see how that's going to be in the way. It might clear it just fine. I don't remember how far the probe sticks out, but these two here will definitely be in the way. So I might have to move it to the back side. We'll see. And then one of the other things is that you probably can't see, if you can see this pin, is that there is where the oil drain tube goes. So it'll sit in front, it'll come down in front of the bracket there, and then it's going to have to snake down. So I don't have a tube for that. The hose that came with the kit is actually going to be too short now because I moved the turbocharger up. So I'll have to deal with that when I get there. But I guess that's the wild world of fabrication. And then I ground down a little bit of the corner there, and that's still not going to fit. So I'll have to do a little bit more. But I have to break this down now to be able to cut that piece out. And it's really close to being dark. And then with the rain and we got rain, hail, and snow. It's a mixture of everything. And plus being dark, I'm not going to be able to get it cut today. So that's going to wrap this video up. I appreciate you guys following along with this, and as soon as I get the hot pipe done on the turbo from the upper to the lower, and then I'll start working on the cold side. So that's probably going to be in the next video. And anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks again.